Hey, bubbling, coming in, crushing this art. All right, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn, and how I view them, and what I call them, because fuck Uranus, like they're trying to tell you that your individuality, your particular form, what you would look like fully manifest, right, as a full-fledged star, as a full-fledged being at your most optimum, right, all your potential, right, all the all the individuality, all the potential expression inside of you, right? They're trying to call this your anus, what, your opinion, what, they say opinions are like what, assholes, right? They fucking stink. Nah, bullshit. No, don't listen to any of that shit, right? Here we call it your, and I know it's very, it's like the same, but your day. Fuck, dude. That's on my calendar. When we get to your day, when we get to Uranus day, it's just your day. We don't call it your fucking ass. Okay. But anyway, so then, yeah, and we have Pluto. I call this B day, beach day, or birthday, right? Because the beach associates with like anything on the beach, right, is a part of death and rebirth. It's a part of the cycle. It's not gonna hold shape, right? It's not gonna hold form. It's formless, right? Unless you look at the beach more so just like the form of the beach, but it's more so just like building on the beach, right? Anything that you do on the beach is eventually going to be swept away, right? Pluto, like pure fool type energy, pure spirit. So yeah, so the way that I think about Pluto is like a pure just sea, right? Like it's no particular direction. It's not even like a like the Cancer type sea, like the initial waters where life bursts out of, but it's literally just like stretching, like you don't have any particular direction to go, but you're going in all directions and you're figuring out all the things that you can do, right? So that's like Pluto. It's just pure like fool type energy. If you know anything about tarot, it's pure just go, go, go. Don't think, just go, 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 right? And so that's the yang, right? That's the beginning. That's the yang. That's still something. Like I almost associate it with spirit, but spirit ain't no thing, right? So yeah, so that's the yang to the yin, and what is the yin? Neptune. Neptune's the yin. All right, because Neptune holds the shape of this, so it's like the fool or Pluto B just stretching itself out, just experimenting, right? Just figuring out all the things it can do. Eventually, it'll like stumble across enough correspondences, coincidences, deja vu's. Like it'll have enough moments where like, whoa, that was a thing. Like that was a thing. You know what I mean? But this is still all just its spirit, right? This is still it just working with itself, right? Like one was pure just self, just pure internal, and then two was like its relationship to itself in a way. So it's like this is what form it can take as pure self, and that's Neptune. Is that is like anytime that the pure sea has any sort of current, has any sort of shape, has any sort of form, right? But this is pure individual, right? This is pure me. This isn't like something that could be realized. This is pure the vibe, right? So it's not necessarily like the air, the practicality, what could be the seed. This is still pure vibe, like pure water, like and then we can think about Pluto as fire, right? So it's like yeah, because it's almost like fire bringing the highest point, bringing the spirit down, right? Pluto, and then water retaining any sort of patterns or any sort of soul, any sort of thing that's within that. Neptune um, is like the yin to that, like the water. And then if we go up, then we get Uranus, right? The air, the seed, right? And then we get Saturn, the earth, the form of that seed, right? The form of that air, because it's almost like fire densifies into water and then air densifies into earth, if that makes sense, because it's like but then water and fire both shape earth, just like um well water, fire, and air both shape earth, and then earth, fire, and water, or earth, fire, and air all shape water, right? So yeah, so anyway, um So yeah, so if we're going back to the elemental attachments and how that I see these particular ones influencing each other, right? Yeah, Pluto would be like the fire, right? The giving form to the water, the battery, right? Neptune. And so any times that that fire is any particular pattern and can become like a wave, a certain vibe, right? This is all the things in your Neptune. Anything that you could potentially resonate with in any way, shape, or form because it's a part of you. Like it's a part of the shapes that you make as a being, right? But these are still pure vibe. Like I guess not the shapes you make as a being, but the frequencies, right? Like the lanes that you reside in, like stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's still like meta. It's still pre. But then once we get to Uranus, this is where we get the air, right? This is where you have enough of a vibe to where you can start generating ideas and how you can execute that. So that's why this is like egg, right? It's almost like this is when you have a baby, right? Whereas like Neptune, if you're thinking about this more as like a situation, would be almost like Cancer. Like this is like mom before she's had sex with dad, right? And she's looking for like good mates. She's looking like, oh, you know, if I'm gonna have a baby, like the environment needs to be this way, everything needs to be on the same page. And then once everything's on the same page, right? There, the vibe is there, the Neptune is there, the actual like there's a wave, there's a current. Then that's when mama like protected mama bangs, right, so that she can have a child that's got security, right? And so that right when that seed is in there, that's Uranus, right? Because that's like once you've had the vibe and the vibe that you had connected to your mama and your dada, right? So that vibe was able to express itself through them and their seed, right? You connected with their seed. So because like potentially we've lived past lives on this earth, right? Or we just had so much passions and so much energies that we related with from different lives in different realms that we fucked with here. Like we understood the vibe of here, right? And so we were able to relate enough to create a shape and form here. So yeah, so that would be like the mom or like the situation making sure that everything's collected in order so something can spring, right? Like like the Neptune is like the signal that is going to attach you to here, right? And then it's like Uranus is going to develop off that, right? Once you have your Neptune connecting to something solid, right? From Pluto, from Spirit. Once you have Neptune connecting with something solid here, then you have like a tether, right? That's like a tether in a way. And so then that tether allows you to start working with matter, materia here, right? Utilize a seed, take a shape here that's already like received here, right? This is why Uranus is the yang, but it's also associated with the Re, like it is the yang part of Saturn, Yin, but it's also on the Re side of the tree of life, because stuff's like flipped flopped as you go down it in a way. But anyway, so so yeah, so this would mean that Uranus is once you actually start developing that seed, once you realize that you could build something there, it's almost like you still got yeah, because it's like this is when you first enter the womb is Uranus, right? This is when you start working on your seed, right? All the things you're bringing from your Neptune into this particular seed, right? And you're still not expressing the full expression of that, like the yin of your seed, right, would be the tree, would be your being fully expressing itself, right? The seed is just the essence, right? So right in the womb is when you're developing essence, right? Uranus, when you're building your character, right? And then once you get out, this is where you experience Saturn. That's why the first visible planet, right? Because or the last visible planet, because this is like the gyroscope in a way. This is like what makes you start to move, what makes you start to walk, what makes you go out there to the world. Along with Jupiter and Mars and Sun, all these things bring you out, but like Saturn for the most part is going to be like your gyroscope. Like I almost do think about it as like there's this weight within you, right? There's this gyroscope within you and it's pointed towards like your fullest form, right? So it's like because there are going to be some people that are more fiery, right? So their gyroscope might be more pointed to the road, might be pointed up in the air, right? Other people's gyroscope might be way more practical. So right there, Saturn is pointed more towards the ground, is more on pointed towards solid ground, right? That's where they're going to be able to stretch themselves, like, but it's almost like Saturn brings you out to where you need to gain structure. Like it forces you, like we are talking about pure Pluto, right? Just going out there any which way. And if those kind of align in a particular way, that will create a wave, right? That can be used as a tether, Neptune, to physicality. So Uranus would be like the seed, right? So What was I talking about? So it'd be like, yeah, I don't know. It would just be like, after the seed, it would be the tether, right? You developing your individuality, and then, yeah, that'll express itself in Saturn. But it's almost like, oh, yeah, I was talking about the Fool, just like going any which way, right? It's almost like, Saturn is like the same thing except for it's directed. Like Saturn is like this feeling that you need to go, right? You need to go this way, you need to gain this, you need to get security, but it's pointing you in a direction, right? So it's almost like the Pluto, the Fool in that way, but it's different. And then also, yeah, we have like the but yeah. But anyway, so just a little bit to sum up and then I'll let you guys go, right? So um Pluto is pure birth and death, pure going out there, pure static, right? And if that aligns in any sort of wave, coincidentally or like spiritually, right? Your spirit working in mysterious ways, that becomes a wave that is a part of your Neptune, right? That can be used as a tether, right? And if that tethers somewhere physically, then you start developing an egg. You start utilizing what's there, right? Air, because fire brings new stuff into being, right? Pure spirit, right? Water holds like a battery and then air develops off of the water, right? So you utilize the water's the reception that's here, which is why Uranus associates with reception as well. You utilize your reception here, right? The egg and the sperm, right? And you utilize that as a vessel in order to create your individuality, like your seed, right? And you're creating your seed, all the stuff that you're being writ at, your individuality, right? Is Uranus, right? Is you. And then that is the yin side of what you could look like as a fully fledged star, right? Saturn. If you fully had your roots in the ground, if you had everything you need, right? If you were firm, collected, on the ground, stable, right? But your version of stable, right? What's stable to a fish ain't stable to a tree, right? The ocean ain't doing shit for a tree, and fucking land ain't doing shit for a fish. So yeah. So anyway, that's a little bit about Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn, or as I call them, B, tune, your, and dues. Be tune your dues. All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Bubbling, Citra, Beach, out.